everyone, Cody over here, and today I'm going to be answering your questions that you posted on either Twitter or on my Facebook page regarding WWE questions. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for sending over those questions because it was a lot of fun answering them and actually thinking about my responses. So it was pretty neat, and I'm definitely going to be doing this kind of video again. So if you missed out on responding via Twitter or on my Facebook page, then feel free to comment below and let me know what you want to ask me or your thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Twitter questions. First one comes from @Jermaine611, and it says, is Alexa Bliss the woman who has impressed you the most with how much she has improved on Smackdown? Look, Jermaine, I love Alexa Bliss, and I think she is a ball of fire. She's tiny, but she's got sass. She's great on the mic. I love her style, the Harley Quinn look, and I think she's an excellent wrestler. However, she's not the one that impressed me the most, and that's because I kind of expected this out of Alexa Bliss. I wasn't so shocked that she had all of this in her coming onto the main roster, onto SmackDown. However, the one that really shocked me is Carmella. She was a valet for Enzo and Cass, and yeah, she's had singles matches and stuff like that, but I did not expect her to have such an impact on me, especially because I found that she can really go toe-to-toe verbally. I mean, granted, it's not that difficult to do with Nikki Bella, and she's got this, like, eccentric attitude. I also really love that she loves her audience, and you can see her tweeting and responding to them all the time, and I think she's great on the mic. I think she's definitely got work to do in the ring, but I don't think she's far. She looks fabulous, no pun intended. So for me, if you're asking who impressed me the most on SmackDown, I will say that right now my favorite on SmackDown is Carmella, and I'm really surprised that she is the one that I would say is my favorite, so that's why it's impressing. Next question is from @PadmeSithLuke. Do you think Cena will beat Flair's heavyweight title reign at Mania? My answer to that is I really don't know. And if they are going to have a match against each other, I think that Cena would probably win. That's just my guess because he is the company guy, and I think that the WWE just loves him so much. But in all honesty, it wouldn't make a difference whether Cena wins or loses. It does not hurt him and the company or his career, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? This doesn't matter. From Jermaine611 again. Do you think people like Wade Barrett or Cody Rhodes think, or they waited to the brand split, they would have got real chances? I think I know what you mean, Jermaine, but look, I think that ultimately, if you are unhappy in a company, it's not going to change because the company's setting changes. It's the way they are treated. I don't necessarily think that the brand split created more opportunities for wrestlers. Sure, it gave people more airtime, but at the end of the day, it's the writers and the heads' decision for who they want to push. I know that in the past, Wade Barrett had the Nexus, and he was getting a really big push, and even after he came back from injury as Bad News, everyone loved Bad News, but then rumor mill has it that they didn't want him to continue being Bad News because he was getting too popular and they didn't want him to get that high up there. And that's the kind of thing that happens in the WWE. I think you guys noticed that. Like, for example, Roman Reigns, a lot of people are booing him, but he's still getting pushed, shoved down our throats. So I don't think it really matters with the brand split. What's more important is what's going on in the inside. I mean, take a look at Cesaro. Now that we have a brand split, you would think, okay, maybe there'll be more airtime for Cesaro. Maybe that he will finally get the push he deserves. But no, that hasn't been happening. So it essentially, maybe, who knows, it could have worked out in their favor. But for me, I don't think it really mattered. At the end of the day, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Ryback, Alberto Del Rio, Paige, whoever, if you're unsatisfied in the company, it's not going to change because of the brand split. And that is my opinion. Next question is by one of my favorite guys, @DT2. If you have won, what's been your best feud this year in wrestling, WWE or any other company? Well, that's tough, but I think the first thing that does pop to mind, again, is It's gonna be really strange, guys, but I really like the Carmella-Nikki feud. I'm not a Nikki Bella fan, but I am a huge Carmella fan as of late. And for the reason for that is because I am so inspired by her and surprised by how good she is in the mic. And you guys might think I'm crazy, but she really carries like some sort of sense of intrigue, and she goes toe to toe with Nikki, and I really, really enjoy this feud. And granted, it's kind of simmering down. Okay, it's not simmering down, but I just think that they work together against each other, and I'm really intrigued by that. So that's my favorite feud in a lighthearted manner. Actually, a lot of my favorite feuds come from SmackDown this year. I also like the Miz's feud with Ziggler and that what was going on there. And currently, I really am digging Ellsworth. I think that Ellsworth is the man, and I love that AJ Styles is up against him, but it also kind of makes me sad because AJ Styles came in being face and being kind of like our leader and our supporter and our dreams reflecting off of him. And now he's talking down on a guy who has those kind of values. So that kind of hurts, but I like it. I kind of like it. So I think most of the better feuds are on SmackDown currently. Next question is by @GomezMig. Who is your favorite old school wrestler? Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Coco Beware, Superfly, Jimmy Snuka? Well, so my wrestling memories when I was growing up back in the 80s and 90s is pretty diluted. I have a very vague memories of what went down back then. All I can really recall is the intensity of them walking down to the ring and how different the costumes were and how outlandish things were and how much more serious they felt in some strange manner. It was, like I took it very seriously. I remember thinking that wrestling was real. I'm not saying it's not now, but it's not as it was a lot less campy. At least that was my opinion. So point said is I do have very vague memories. I just know that I watched it, I believed in it, I enjoyed it, but the person that stood out the most for me was Macho Man. Just his statements, his wordings, I mean, ooh, yeah, goes down all the way through. He was just a very memorable character, along with all the feuds he had. And I also think it's hilarious, and I know this sounds terrible, but Elizabeth and him, and then Sensational Sherry and him and Hulk Hogan. He was my favorite wrestler growing up in the 80s. What are your top 3 current WWE themes? Easily Naomi, because I think that if I was in the crowd when she comes out like that with the flashes and the dance moves and her hair and everything glowing, it would be just a really great thing to watch. And also, I will say Sami Zayn because his music just gets me pumping. Oh, and it matches him perfectly. And finally, hands down, my favorite, and maybe this is because I went to an NXT live show recently, but Samoa Joe's entrance and the music and the theme, perfect. It's like a smooth walk. It's like an ode to the 90s hip hop, and I love it. It's a jam. It's a jam right there. Samoa Joe surprises me with that theme. Why do you think this is the new era for women's wrestling in the WWE? Is there no women's tag team championship? At a fickle AJH. The answer to that question is I think simply there's a lot more men than women on the roster currently, and right now they are really trying to build the women's division, and they already have 2 belts, which is great, one on SmackDown, one on Raw, and I think it's important for them to really elevate these women by utilizing their skills as singles competitors, and I think that's why they're probably not making them into tag team divisions just yet. But that's just my opinion. I have no idea. I just think that right now I'm in no rush to see them having a tag team division. We need to elevate them in the women's division and show their talent, their skills as individuals, and having them in tags would kind of take away that. Because right now they're going out hard as competitors, and it's great to see them fiend for themselves, if you can say. At Garcia13 Daniel, Should the WWE have a women's only pay-per-view, and what would be your card or main event? Uh, no, I don't think they really should have a women's only pay-per-view. I think that would kind of be boring, to be honest with you. Yes, the WWE women's division has grown exponentially, and they're working hard on creating a strong sense of women and the gender role, and I love it, and I'm such a huge advocate of that. Like, you could, I mean, I it fascinates me how much they've grown within the past couple years. However, I don't think a women's only pay-per-view is the way to go. Not because I don't think an all males pay-per-view is the way to go. I think that it's a nice blend, and I think what matters is the storyline. And if the storyline so happens to have women involved, that's fine. But I don't think they should push for a gender-based only pay-per-view. But the answer to the next question, who would I want to be there? Asuka. By Rodney Holly. Do you think Sami Zayn will get a US title run in 2017? Yeah, I think that is highly possible, Rodney. Next question, again by Rodney. Will New Day beat the Demolition Tag title record? Rodney, I think that's the plan. That's where I think it's going. All right, next questions are from my Facebook page. Now, there was a lot on those, so I had to pick a couple, or else you guys might get bored with this. I'm just kidding. But okay. This one is from Darren Browning. I know you took a break from wrestling, but what got you back into it? Easy. My ex-boyfriend. It was kind of cool because we ended up watching a lot of wrestling, and we ended up starting to bond with wrestling. And I don't even know if he still watches it, but it's kind of nice that we had that in common. Thank you, WWE. Alan Johnny A asks, what do you think of the brand split? Is it damaging to storylines that they are feuding with the same persons again and again? Alan, I don't know if it's damaging, but I will definitely say that it can get dull and boring at times. That, Charlotte and Sasha keep going at it. They're just storylines that generally don't work, and they continue that. I think that's more damaging than repeating storylines, if you know what I mean. Like Cesaro and Sheamus thing doesn't work for me. I don't really know what's happening to Rusev. And, I gotta say that the storyline on Raw for the women's division, it's kind of lost its way. I sit there and question what is happening with the women's division on Raw, whereas on SmackDown, I think overall they're doing a better job with the women over there. So overall, I don't think it's damaging with the brand split because they have different ways of exposing the different superstars, and I think that really works for a lot of them. And I think overall, SmackDown is the better show at this moment. Sorry. Next question is by Nathaniel Feliciano. Do you think Ellsworth is going to get the Daniel Bryan treatment from fans at the Rumble? This is really funny to me because I think that he is so over. I think that he's even more over than Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan was at the same level as him. So whether it's just for the sake of hopping on the bandwagon, whether you truly believe in Ellsworth, whether you like him or not, you are going to hear a gigantic pop for him at the Rumble, should that happen. I believe in that. I think that he is a fan favorite. He's been catapulted up there because of the things he says, the way he looks, and yet he inspires us to be whoever we want to be. And I believe in his words. Yes, it might be a gimmick, but I straight believe in it. I look at him and I think to myself, my dreams can come true. Look at this guy. He's out there in front of the cameras in the WWE, proving to everybody that you can do whatever you want to do despite your doubts, despite what you may look like. You just got to keep going. You got to keep believing Who cares how old you are? Who cares what you look like? You just got to work hard and believe and be kind to others. So that's what's so inspirational to me when it comes to Ellsworth. By Aaron Winston Riggin. Do you think The Undertaker will retire at WrestleMania 33? And if so, who would you want to be his last opponent? To be honest with you, I have no idea when The Undertaker is going to retire. I think pretty soon, but there's always been speculation for years that he's not coming back, and then he's coming back, and this is going to be his last feud, he's on his last leg, whatever the case. So I just don't know. That is completely unpredictable for me. Who I would like to see him feud with, obviously I would like to see him go against Brock Lesnar again. Goldberg will be interesting, and Kane would be kind of weird, but I don't know. It would be just extremely weird. Cesaro? CM Punk? Cesaro would be cool. Darren Browning asks me, buy or sell Wrestle Kingdom 11 or WrestleMania 33, and you can only choose one. If I had to choose between the two, whether it's New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 11 or WrestleMania 33, I would without a doubt go with Wrestle Kingdom 11. I'm already going to Wrestle Kingdom 11. Really excited about it. I think that what I love about it is there's a lot less storyline involved and more of a match involved, and they have more freedom to do what they want, and the audience is also extremely respectable, so it's quiet and it's a very different sort of live show. So I like that as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like them both, but if I had to choose one between 33 or Wrestle Kingdom 11, I would go with Wrestle Kingdom 11. Last question is Michael Greenaway. What is your all-time favorite feud in wrestling? AJ versus Lita. Just kidding, because that didn't exist. But that would be really cool if it existed because of that real life CM Punk stuff. R-Truth versus King Barrett. I'm just kidding again. Elizabeth versus Macho Man. No, I'm kidding again. Honestly, I can't really pick one distinct feud because I really like a lot of them for different reasons and for different elements. And eventually every feud gets old. Nothing ever left me thirsting for more, at least from my memory. And so there you have it. Those are the questions that you guys sent over. Thanks so much. But I also wanted to finally answer one question that I was asked verbally was, who is my favorite wrestler of all time and why? Now, I wanted to answer this question because it's kind of hard for me to respond because it kind of really, it really varied from age to age. If you asked me that 6 months ago, I would have said AJ Lee. However, if you asked me that today, without a doubt, I would say Charlotte. And the reason why is because I have not seen a female wrestler as grand and as great as her, and she's so good on the mic as a heel, and we believe it that she is undefeatable, and she's strong, she has the look, and she amazes me every day, every time I see her on screen. She has not gone stale for me. On the contrary, she continues to impress me, and I really can't wait to see what becomes of her. And without a doubt, I'm going to see her in the Hall of Fame within 10 years. So that is who my current favorite wrestler is. So there you have it, and thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to drop some questions down below if you have more. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe, and let me know what you have to say about wrestling. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. See ya.